Style assessment accomplished.
Yay! So, hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Kristen, also known as Voolenvine, here on YouTube and on Ravelry and pretty much everywhere else on the web and Instagram, where I'm most active when it comes to social media. And as always, so happy that you're taking some time out of your day to chat about all the knitting, all the sewing, all the making, or whatever crafty rabbit hole I happen to be diving down this week. And this week I have a special guest again, and this is, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Emily. My name is Emily, but I'm Slow Fashion Rebel on Instagram and YouTube, and I work for Kristen 3 days a week. I'm the luckiest person on earth.
Aww, and we're friends too. And
she's the greatest.
Oh, stop it.
Never gonna stop saying you're the greatest, because you are.
Oh, yeah, Emily is the best also, seriously.
Oh,
I do not know what I would do without you. She's
same, I feel
invaluable.
I feel the same.
To Team Voolenvine.
I want to say thank you to everybody out there who commented on our last together video saying how they wanted to see us do another one again, because that's why this is happening, and I really appreciate it, so thank you so much.
And it's super convenient because she's like just around the corner,
Yeah.
so I'm like, hey, want to come over and podcast?
Yeah, and I'm like, yes.
Why not?
Yes.
So we're having her back.
So fun.
So glad to have you back.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You know, as far as what we're going to talk about, we're going to share our knitting projects, some sewing projects, and talk about sewing stuff as we do, and but before we get into that, just a quick word from my awesome sponsor, Skillshare.
Skillshare!
Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of classes in design, business, tech, and more, even sewing and the fiber arts. As you probably know, I love learning new things when it comes to knitting, sewing, photography, or whatever crafty rabbit hole I happen to be diving down, which is why I'm all about binge watching classes on Skillshare. And because I know you love learning new things too, I partnered up with Skillshare, and they are offering you, my viewers, 2 months free to try their platform. So give Skillshare a go and learn something new. Just click the link in the description box below and enter the code at checkout. Enjoy! And thanks, Skillshare. And welcome back.
Hi!
Hi! So should we talk about what we're wearing?
Oh yeah, we're both wearing the Ingalls by Caitlin Hunter.
Emily came up with that. She came over and she's like, I have the best name for the podcast episode. I'm like, what is it? Twingalls.
Twingalls.
Yes. So.
Sounds a little bit like Pringles and Twinkies, though.
I know.
So it's
we should have had like snacks on hand.
Yeah,
Pringles
emergency snacks.
We totally didn't plan this.
Yeah, not very well. Both of our Ingalls are, made out. Yeah, it sounds like wrong to me to say the real name now. I don't know why. But both of them are made out of Voolenvine yarns in the Smitten DK base. Mine is Dead Calm. The dark green is Dead Calm, and this color is Deadly Nightshade.
Yeah,
and
colorways I haven't dyed in a while, so
did not use mohair, and I knit the size small, but Kristen did use mohair.
It's very subtle, you can't even see it, but yeah, I used the same base, Voolenvine yarn Smitten DK in the Weep colorway and Succulents colorway, and it's very, very, very subtle, but there's like an ever so slight halo.
So pretty though.
Yeah.
So last time you guys saw me on this channel, I had just started this, so this is my FO, and then I was also working on the Rhapsody and Cables, which I have made a lot of progress on, but I didn't bring because I was so focused on talking about this style thing that we're going to talk about a little later that I just brought like a little hat. So I'm loving it. This is the Vintage Prim by Andrea Mowry.
So pretty.
I think I realized that it's very, very similar to yours, and I never intended to do that.
Yeah.
I just it just happened.
I'm not sure where mine is, but let's hold it up.
So we're just gonna be twinsies all the
There you
time
go.
about everything.
That is gorgeous.
Thanks.
What yarn is that?
So the sparkle purple is yours, and then the gray is a Molly Girl yarn.
Oh, is this No Sheep Till Brooklyn or something? Or No Sleep Till Brooklyn?
No Sleep Till Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Which I so love. And I used that for my Maritimo tee also, and it's just a little tiny line on the Maritimo tee. I love how these little pops of color are showing through.
Yeah, it's very subtle. but when you look at it really close, it's just so it gives it so much dimension and texture. And even the sparkle, it's not like overkill sparkle.
Right,
because
it's on the inside.
Yeah, and it's reversible.
But I also am really obsessed lately with sparkle yarns on like slightly dirtier, grungier, dyed.
You were saying,
things.
yeah, because it gives it kind of like that grungy kind of glam.
Well, it's just the contrast, the play with contrast, because sparkle is so glamorous and pretty, and grunge is, just like makes it a little more interesting, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
awesome.
my current obsession.
So pretty. Yeah, I definitely have a skein of No Sleep Till Brooklyn caked up. And
oh, do you?
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the perfect project for it. I think I got it at Woolen. Way back when they first opened up.
It was like a special dyed for Woolen thing. Yeah. But I didn't get it from Woolen. I like got it in a swap. But it says that on the label that it's like specially dyed for Woolen.
Yeah, she's got some really good colors, Angela. Like Molly Girl.
Molly Girl?
Yeah.
Nice. What are you working on?
I am working on my Birds of a Feather.
Nice.
So I've just been pretty much monogamously knitting away on this, and I've made quite a bit of progress.
So pretty.
Thank you. And the yarn, of course, is my hand-dyed yarn in Voolenvine Yarns, and the merino singles over here is I Am No Bird, and then Ghost Lace is also I Am No Bird, and I think it just kind of makes for a really
it's really, really nice.
So having a lot of fun with that. I am getting to the point where it's like the abyss of shawl knitting, where there are a lot of stitches on the needles already, and now it's like every row is kind of like a little bit of a slog. But
are you gonna decrease anytime soon, or do you have a lot more? Do you have increasing to go still?
I think I have maybe like 2 more repeats of alternating skeins to go before I start decreasing.
Okay, but you're not increasing at all anymore?
I'm still increasing. Oh yeah. So, but the cool thing about it is like there have been rows where I've forgotten to increase or like make the middle knot, but it's stockinette, so I feel like it's easy to kind of like fudge it a little bit, and no one's gonna know the difference. Yeah, no. So that's the one project that I've mainly been working on. Have you been working on anything else, or is that it?
Like I said, Rhapsody and Cables. I also started a ripple crop top, and I started a pair of socks that I'm designing.
Ooh, oh my gosh. What's the ripple crop top?
It's by Jessie May, I think is her name. I
have to look her up. I haven't heard too much about her yet. Yeah,
she doesn't have like a ton of designs, but like she's awesome. I've got some like hibernated sweaters that I want to start picking up.
I know, like last I don't know if you guys watched Emily's podcast. If you haven't, you should. But you talked about whips, like when you have too many whips and everything. So that kind of inspired me to pull out all of my whips, which is in a giant basket over there. So thankfully it's not as bad as I thought it would be. But the interesting thing is like the majority of them are Andrea Mowry patterns, which I don't know why that is. It's not, it has nothing to do with the patterns or the way that they're written. It's just I just haven't been able to finish them.
Interesting. Do you think that you make more Andrea Mowry stuff than like other designers, or?
I think it's like I do cast on a lot of Andrea Mowry patterns, Caitlin Hunter patterns, Stephen West patterns. Right. So I think I don't know.
Like out of those 3, I just wonder if like Andrea Mowry's is just like a little higher, or if it's
her patterns. I think require a little bit more focus. Where it's like at the end of the day, if I had a long day, I just kind of wanna.
I see.
Sit and just go
and not do something a little
autopilot. That's the word. The camera is what autofocus is. That's your job, camera. But yeah, I think Andrea Mowry patterns are something that I usually work on the weekends, but when I have some downtime.
I'm finding that with my Hohi sweater that it's like there is a lot of focus required, which is an enjoyable challenge like I talked about last time, but it is frustrating to me how slowly it's going, because I can only work on it during times when I have the like mental focus presence, and it's not like I have a lack of it's just like you need to focus on other stuff throughout the day. So it's like you use up your energetic reserves, as it were. So anyway, but it'll be worth it, and I'm really excited for it. I just like want that sweater now.
I know,
so
it's like it's a product knit almost.
Yeah,
it
like, totally is. Yeah.
A hoe. Yeah.
Yay, cute.
And that Helen Stewart is another designer I cast on a lot of her patterns. So these I cast on when I was really sick a couple weeks ago. And these are her shell cottage socks that are a part of her handmade sock society too. So it's like this is like the second round of her handmade sock society. And she was so kind. She gifted me a subscription. So Helen, if you're watching, thank you so much.
They're beautiful.
It's like such a simple, intuitive pattern, and it totally held my...
I love the texture.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
It's very delicate and very simple, and it just has all
But they like look really squishy.
Yeah, and they kind of like expand, kind of like a waffle stitch almost, I want to say, but I don't know, prettier than a waffle stitch, I have to say. But yeah, one hoe. I cast on the second sock. I'm still on the ribbing, not worth showing on the podcast.
Did you say what yarn it is?
Oh, yes, this is, thank you for reminding me.
You're welcome.
This is Ritual Dyes, which in her leather colorway, which I picked up at Vogue Knitting Live this past January. And
it's beautiful.
It's mauve. Makes my heart sing. Yeah, so, and that's all she wrote. That's
all right.
I've been pretty monogamous knitting on.
That's okay. I mean, well, that's not very monogamous. I mean, it's like, it's not like you have 17 different, but you're not working on just one.
Right.
So, like, I don't know. That's how I like to be also. Just like a small number, but enough to keep me, like, engaged. If I get bored on one thing, I like to switch back and forth, but not so many that I'm, like, stressed about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, like, feel bad about myself about not finishing stuff.
For sure. We all have our different tactics for handling whips and everything.
But I like to think about it a lot and like analyze the whole like process, which is what I talk about on my podcast a lot of the time.
Yeah, you're really good at like giving tips and tricks. And,
oh, thanks.
Yeah.
All right. So should we talk about the style stuff?
Yeah, let's talk.
Do you want to? Is there something else you had in mind?
No, I mean let's get into it.
Okay. Yay.
So Emily and I were chatting, and I was telling her about like how I gravitate towards patterns that I feel like, that I think might suit my style, but then when it's all said and done, I really don't feel like it jives with my wardrobe or something, that I would naturally gravitate towards. So she's like, well, why don't you send me a Pinterest board with, my style or whatever. She'll go through it and pick out some patterns that she thinks will...
Okay, so let me tell you why I felt like I was gonna be really good at this, and that's because, so before I worked at a costume shop, I used to be a costume designer, so it was my job to study clothes and, shapes and colors and how they were representative of human personalities and, like, really showcase that on stage, and I loved that part of it. I loved the research part of it. I loved the analyzing part of it. And I've spent a lot of time trying to find my own personal style over the last year. So that being said, I recently read this book called Self-Styled. It's by Anthony Lycett, I think. But it's just like it's basically a book of all of these people who dress really outrageously and like Stephen West would fit in really well with that book. And I say that with all the respect in the world for both of these people and for Stephen West. But they talk a lot about identity and like how their style is like expressing their identity. And it really made something click for me. Like you don't have one style because you don't have one facet of your personality, and that's why it's so hard to express your personal style. All the style bloggers or whatever tell you, like, you have to, like, define your personal style in one sentence, which is, like, to me, what? That's crazy.
You go through phases and moods and everything. I forget, I think it was, like, some kind of quote that I saw on Pinterest at one point, but it was, like, something along the lines of, I don't have any, like, you have a closet full of clothes, but you have nothing to wear because whatever's in your closet is not the person that you can be today.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So I think for that reason, like, it is really important to try and know yourself and, like, find your personal style, but, like, I strongly believe now that you don't necessarily have to define it. Like, and what is helping me in this process is like identifying elements and mixing those elements together. Like, I really love menswear, I love grunge, I love pink, I love, lacy things, And I think that the thread throughout all of that is that I love contrast, like in styles and colors and moods. So
and bringing that all together to create
and
one
mixing,
unique...
like, you are a unique person. So Kristen sent me this Pinterest board. The interesting thing about it, one of the most interesting things about it, is that when Kristen describes her personal style, she uses the word goth. And because it's like a lot of black and like
black.
It's, it's
a lot of
dark themes,
but a little bit, a little girly with like some lace and some dark floor. Like I'm wearing a black dress with flowers on it right now.
It's
so it's
classical. That's the thing. It's like whenever you say that your style is goth, I have this little like sense of resistance to that term. What I realized through thinking about this is that like the people in my high school who were my friends who dressed in goth stuff, it was like more of a goth punk. And again, I would have to like, do a little more research into like what goth actually is and why goth is called that, because it's probably like based on the word gothic, and that does seem to fit with you, is the word gothic. When I was looking at this Pinterest board that you sent me, it seems like almost more vampiric than goth. It's like there's a lot of black, but it's like very classical silhouettes and like very romantic and elegant and like sophisticated. So
thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So anyway, that's how I would describe it. And you've got a lot of fit and flare dresses, which is, when it fits on the bodice and then flares out.
Like an A-line type.
Which is great because you are a pear shape like me, and that's supposed to be what like looks good on a pear shape. But which, you don't have to follow those rules, but like it's great to know. The thing that you're supposed to do when you are a pear shape, again, and supposed to, may not like be what you want to do, but is that you're supposed to create like visual interest up here along the shoulder line, and then also create length. You may not want to just make fit and flare dresses every single time.
Right.
But because that is what like looks good on you, I would suggest, and like this is not to restrict you at all, but this is just like trying to use my skills, my analytical skills to like help you figure this problem out.
You're the expert seamstress here.
Thank you. Is to play with variations on the fit and flare theme. So like I might suggest trying to do a couple of like long dresses, like long skirts, and then do like variations on different necklines.
Yeah, like I do like like I can't really, I can't really pull off the boat neck where it's just like straight across, but I do like those deep scoop necks or like a U shape type of thing.
One thing I noticed about necklines specifically is that you've got two different iterations of this one.
Like the V.
Yeah. I would also encourage you to maybe try out some separates. Like you make a lot of dresses, but I don't see you making a lot of skirts.
Yeah, I like the idea of dresses because it's easy. You just put it on but yeah, I agree that I do want to look into making more separates as far as...
Skirts are cool though because you've got a little bit of like grunge influences here, and it's like an easy way to get that aesthetic if you like pair a skirt with a grungy t-shirt,
That's true.
So like that would be an easy outfit to throw on. But also I would suggest like sticking to like flared skirts,
Yeah. See, like I can get away with longer skirts during the summer and warmer months when I don't have to wear a coat over it. Like, sometimes I feel like if I put a coat over and I have a long skirt, I just feel a little, I don't know, I can't describe it. Like,
I think I know what you're saying because that's because most of our coats are like, not flared.
Yeah.
Also, but you're making this coat that's gonna be flared. So, you know, it might be interesting to try that.
I'll talk about this later.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's flared and it has like kind of like an interesting triangular edge to it.
Right.
But...
So, that's actually called a handkerchief hemline.
Yes.
So, and that's another thing you could play with interesting hemlines because you want to, I think for you want to add a little bit of drama to like what's going on, and that would be an easy way to do it. Yeah. Anyway, another issue that, that Kristen, why did I forget your name? Mentioned was that like, so a lot of what's fashionable right now in sewing is kind of like boxy, oversized stuff. You know, I'm wearing an oversized thing right now. Again, not trying to complain about that, but you don't feel like when you make something a little bit boxier that it.
I feel like it just overpowers me in a way. Like it just, it's swimming on me, and it doesn't. I like things that hug my body a little more. I just feel
especially
a little bit more confident.
Your torso. Yeah. Which makes sense because you have this beautiful slender torso. So like, why not show it off? But I think I figured out the problem there also. Number one, I think that the reason that you like the dress that you made most recently, even though it is a little bit boxier at the waist, is because it shows off
the neckline.
So much skin up here.
That
so you
so
still
true.
Get to feel like pretty and elegant.
I just like showing skin, honestly.
No, it's about like some elegance, you know, some elements of elegance. And also, and the one that you had an issue with before, it was, it had some masculine elements. And a lot of what you, is on this Pinterest board, like there is
Very
not a drop
feminine.
of masculine at all. Like
So
no collars, no pockets. I mean, no shirt pockets.
I can never wear
cuffs or
button-down shirts like with lapels, and like I just can't. I don't feel myself in them.
Yeah,
so
which is totally fine.
Yeah.
So
and it's interesting with like pencil skirts too. For some reason, I need that flare effect. So.
Yeah, I used to think I was an hourglass, and hourglass is supposed to wear a pencil skirt, and so I was like, but first of all, I just find them uncomfortable. And but now that I've figured out that I'm a pair, like I think I'm just like a pair with big boobs, but like I'm still a pair. So like now that I can wear like full skirts or have allowed myself or whatever, even though I don't want to like restrict myself anyway, but that I feel like, I don't know, I feel better in them. So I totally understand how you feel.
That's so interesting. I never considered the fact that it all has to do with the neckline, and mind is blown.
I'm glad. Totally. So here's the thing about the oversized look. Also, I think that you have to pair it with something a little bit sexy. So one thing I noticed, there are some oversized looks here, but also they're all sweaters. They're all sweaters. None of them are shirts. None of them are dresses.
They're just cozy.
So it's like, but you've got some looks that are like a cozy sweater layered over something like really glamorous and pretty. You know, like that lace.
Exactly. Like it tones something that's typically formal evening wear. It brings a sense of casualness where you can like wear it out during the day.
Right. And it's like a contrast in, style, which is exciting. But then you've got this one, which is like a short skirt and an oversized sweater. Again, a short skirt and an oversized sweater. And this one is like oversized sweater with something extremely feminine.
Yeah, tulle skirt.
So think about that. I also think you've got a lot of black lace in here and like some sheer black stuff. So like I think that you should explore texture a lot more, like, totally dive into black because you obviously love it and there's no reason not to go for it.
I'm never going for Prince again. I'm just going to go
I mean, it's fine to go for Prince
that's all I
too.
wear. I mean, aside from, the odd pop of color here and there.
Yeah.
But mainly it's black.
Yeah. But I mean, and it's gorgeous. It really works for you and you make it like so elegant and it's just, I think you can totally go for it. So I think that's all that I have to say about it. but now I
Color me
can show
impressed.
you. Oh, good. So it's on my Pinterest board, which we can
Yeah, I'll
link
pop
to.
links to the Pinterest boards below if you guys are interested.
So I just looked at skirts and dresses to start with.
Yeah.
But there's like basically a lot of fit and flare. This I did because it was Victorian and had that like buttons, but now that I think about it more, I think the collar is not going to work
button
for
down.
you. Bluet. Yeah.
By Deer and Doe.
I think
it looks
think
really
no.
great. Like Gabby and Katie from Inside Number 23, Gabby from Once Upon a Corgi, they pull this dress off like brilliantly. But because it has like the buttons and the masculine elements, like a collar and a button down, it doesn't actually suit my style.
Right.
But if we were to hack it,
we were to hack it a little bit, and I was thinking if Kristen did a black lace collar, that could be interesting. Just an interesting thing to like maybe.
Yeah. Oh, what about like kind of like splitting the bodice where it's like just here down, it's opaque, or and then up here it's just like lace, and then kind of doing. Yeah,
that could be good.
Do that.
That could be good. Yeah, actually, I think that now that you say, I don't think that it's Victorian because of the high collar, but like the buttons, like the Victorians did do a lot of buttons.
The seat buttons.
And like down the front, and they did do a high collar, but yeah, now that I'm realizing it, and now that you like said that your mind was blown about like being able to show this part, I think maybe a high collar isn't like covering this part of your chest is not something that you want to do.
I always feel like a little claustrophobic when I have something too close to my neck.
Me too.
I like the idea of just like thinking about it and toying with the idea of like what I could do to probably make it.
But that's a good idea to have it sheer from here up.
So I can have the best of
like
both
still
worlds.
Fabric up there. I actually have the same thing like with colorwork sweaters. Like even if it's not even about it like actually physically being up near my neck. It's about it being visually up near my neck for some reason. Like this kind of colorwork where it starts at the shoulder, like I'm all about it because it looks a little bit more relaxed. But like if there's something going on right here, I don't know why, I just can't.
Like my 3 Nior by Isola Teague, it's like it goes all the way up to here, and it's a little, I will admit, it's not, I mean, it's a beautiful sweater, beautiful pattern, but when I wear it, I just feel like it's a little like, and it has that patterning.
I think it just looks a little more conservative than what we like for our personal styles. I spent probably an hour and a half just putting together skirts and dresses. So there's a lot more to do, I think, because you want to wear a lot more than just skirts and dresses. But like this is sort of the basic foundation for. Oh, this one's really nice because
is that Victory Patterns?
Yeah, because it does have the like lace up here.
It has like a sweetheart contrast.
Right. And then, I think I was saying, like, if you did this one, this is the Elizabeth dress.
Is it by name?
By name,
yeah.
If you did it, like, if you made the skirt flare out a little bit more and did it in a bit of more of a casual fabric, like, it could work.
It could really work. And it has, like, those are full-on spaghetti straps.
Yeah.
Right? How do you make spaghetti straps?
I don't know. I've never done it before, but I think you just, like, sew a tiny tube and then turn it inside out. It's probably really annoying, but
that's one thing that I really don't like doing is like turning tubes of fabric inside out.
I feel like a lot of the stuff that you put on your Pinterest board and that is your personal style is like fussy sewing, which is like not great news for you, but
it's so worth it.
But it might be worth it.
Yeah,
that one too.
Yeah,
just because of the lace.
I will say,
you don't like the sleeves,
like the butterfly sleeves.
Not into it.
But you can always swap those out.
Yeah, totally. You can omit them.
Omit.
I like butterfly sleeves, but that's okay if you don't.
Suits you.
Yeah, thanks.
I don't know. I just every time I have butterfly sleeves on, I feel like flying, like
fluttery. Yeah, it makes me feel very like bohemian and like pretty. So that's okay that you don't like it. And then these are skirts. This one had a really interesting shape.
Oh yeah,
which is why I liked it.
It's beautiful.
And
is that
it's V9283.
Oh, wow. I do like that.
Yeah, this one has the overlay, so you could do it like in a black lace, and it would give you specific instructions. This one's just like a short circle skirt. this one is a full circle skirt. So I like chose that because you had that one picture of like I think it was like a jersey circle skirt with like an oversized sweater. So you could just make that into a mini skirt and it would be like
super easy, very versatile.
Yeah, and then these are just like more flared skirt options.
Those are really cool.
Yeah. So that's it.
I love it.
But I hope that
it's
you know, gives you some
helpful.
ideas at least. Yeah. And again, it's not about like restricting you to fit and flare, but like giving you some ideas to like stick with something that you know is going to make you feel good, but also like ideas for a little bit of variety because
no, like the neckline thing is like the huge takeaway for me. Because like I would never think about that. And
about like having skin.
Yeah, or that's what I'm actually, you know, that's normally what I'm drawn to, where it's like, I just like having skin up here.
It's not about having cleavage. It's just like breathing space almost, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And like some of those patterns that you showed, I actually looked at them and I was, you know, like, oh, you know, maybe, but until you brought like up those points, I was like, okay, now I see why I might
gravitated to originally.
Exactly. Couldn't pinpoint it until now, so
yay!
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yay!
Style assessment accomplished.
Yay! Next on HGTV.
Yeah. Next on Voolenvine Yarns.
Oh my gosh. No, I mean it's kind of felt like, I don't know if you ever watched the Style Network or E.
Not anymore, but like
like years ago when I was still like living at home, my mom and I would like watch she'd have like the E channel and Style channel running like all the time, so all those like fashion makeover shows would be on, and
I loved those.
Those were so awesome.
Yeah,
and what not to wear.
What not to wear. I wore that all the time. Doing this project inspired me to organize my own Pinterest board, and I have a ton of sewing patterns that I have pinned over the years, and also style inspiration for myself. So I have like, it's a lot. It's like and I have the sewing patterns divided by winter and fall and winter sewing patterns is one board, and then spring and summer sewing patterns is another board, and then within those two boards there are subcategories for like coats, jackets, skirts, dresses, pants, tops, you know, that kind of thing. So it's a good resource, like if you're looking for some inspiration and you don't like the fold line, you know, is too overwhelming, you know,
a little bit.
Yeah. So it's curated.
Yeah, I have to check that out.
According to my style. So anyway,
my Pinterest board needs help. So, you know, it's like, I'm so bad at, I was telling you earlier, like I just pin things randomly, or I do have categories, but I don't write captions or anything. So if you are on my Pinterest, like browsing my Pinterest board and you see a random caption, that's like, what? Huh?
I don't think captions really matter, but I did find out yesterday that you can categorize like the things in your board, and that seems really helpful to me because it's like if there's a ton of stuff, it's overwhelming, but if they're like, I don't know, it was helpful to. It was cool to categorize. I just like organizing stuff.
She's the best at organizing. She organized my dye in the dye studio.
That was a fun project.
It's like my world is completely changed. Yay. Because before I was like, what color is this? What color is this? And no, she like labeled everything, color coded things, and they have different colored stickers on them now. It's brilliant. Yeah, I don't even have to look at what color. I just know which bucket it goes into.
You don't have to like waste time and energy deciding what like category it goes into. Like if it's a red color or an orange or whatever.
See this hot mess behind here? Go.
I'll do it.
I know she will. Anyway.
I do have my stash organized by color. I have it in a dresser, and it's like there's like a green and gray drawer and like a purple drawer and like and there's like a pink
rainbow.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
All right, we should go because now we're rambling. But thank you so much for having me, Kristen. I really appreciate it. This is awesome.
I hope you guys enjoyed, and it's always awesome having you on. And yeah, I'm trying to think what else before I kick off. I'm going to EYF, so I don't know. It's coming up quickly, and I feel like I haven't mentioned it on the podcast. But you know, I'm gonna go. I got a pass for all the days, so I'm probably definitely gonna go that Friday, Saturday. But I'll talk more about it on the next episode. But if you see me, say hello. It'll be awesome. I really wish you were coming with, but
someday
I'll bring you a souvenir. But yeah, otherwise, if you enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe below. And I put out, I can talk. Really, I can. I put out a new video every Friday. And yeah, thanks so much for hanging out with us. Happy knitting, and I'll see you next time. Bye!
Bye.